Mrs. O.R. Simmons, 343 Temple Drive, is that right?
It's old, but we love it. It's our home.
And you wish to enter your brother here at the sanatorium for treatment? Yes. And what's your brother's name?
Oh dear.
Mrs. Simmons, what's your brother's name?
Oh, I'm sorry. Life isn't easy for any of us. To keep up my head and keep on just the same. That's what I keep on telling Myrtle May. And that's what Myrtle May keeps telling me. Oh, she's heartbroken about her uncle Elwood. Elwood P. Dowd.
Elwood P. Dowd. And his age?
47. The 24th of last April.
47. And is he married?
Oh, no. Elwood never married. He stayed with his mother. He was such a homeboy. Oh, he loved his home.
Have you got him with you here now?
Yes. He's in the taxi cab on the driveway.
Oh, Wilson, could you step down to a taxi in the driveway and ask Mr. P. Dowd if he'd be good enough to step up to room 24 South Wing G?
Ask him.
Oh, and this is his sister, Mrs. Simmons.
Oh, how do you do? Yeah, I'd be glad to ask him.
That's all be taken care of by my mother's estate. Mr. Gaffney is our attorney.
And I'll just ask Dr. Sanderson if he can see
Yeah, Dr. Sanderson. I want to see Dr. Chumley himself.
Oh, no, Mrs. Simmons. Dr. Chumley sees nobody. Dr. Sanderson is the one who sees everybody.
Well, he's still head of the institution, isn't he? He's still a psychiatrist, isn't he?
Still a psychiatrist? Dr. Chumley is more than that. Dr. Chumley is a psychiatrist with a national reputation. Whenever people have mental breakdowns, they start thinking of Dr. Chumley.
That's his door, isn't it? Why don't you march right in there and tell him I'm out here? He'll come when he knows it's me.
Don't do that, Mrs. Simmons. Discharge me if I did.
I don't want you to be pushed off on 22nd fiddle.
Dr. Sanderson is nobody's second fiddle. He's very young, of course. He's not been out of medical school very long. But Dr. Chumley considers him the very best we've ever had out here. Dr. Chumley tried out 12 and kept Dr. Sanderson. Oh, he's really quite wonderful. To the patients.
Oh, Peter, isn't this a wonderful place?
Mrs. Simmons.
Oh, dear. Oh, I didn't hear you come in. You started me. You're Dr. Sanderson.
That's right. Won't you be seated, please?
Oh, I hope you don't think I'm jumping like this all the time, Doctor.
Not at all. Now, Mrs. Kelly tells me you're concerned about your brother. Mr. Elwood P. Dowd, is it?
Yes. This isn't easy for me, Doctor.
Oh, naturally. These things aren't easy for the families and patients. I understand.
It's what Elwood's been doing to himself. Myrtle May has the right to nice friends. She's young and her whole life is before her. That's my daughter.
Your daughter. Now, Mrs. Simmons, when did you first begin to notice any peculiarities in your brother's behaviour?
Well, I suppose it was when Mother died, and Elwood and I moved in with Elwood. I could see that he...
That he what? Take your time. Don't rush. Let it come. I'll wait for it.
Doctor, everything I say to you is confidential.
Of course. That's understood.
Because it's a slap in the face of everything we stood for in this community, the way Elwood's acting now.
Mrs. Simmons, I'm not a gossip. I'm a psychiatrist.
Oh, are you? Oh, yes, of course you are. Well, the one thing he drinks.
To excess?
To excess? Don't you call it excess when a man never lets a day go by without stepping into one of those cheap taverns, hanging around with a riff-raff of people you never heard of, bringing people home and giving them food and drink, and here I am, trying to get Myrtle May started a nice group of young people. What if that's not excess? I don't know what excess is.
Mrs. Simmons, I didn't doubt your statement. I merely asked if you're...
Well, I say certainly he drinks. And for one thing, I want him taken in here permanently, because I cannot stand another day of that Harvey. Myrtle, I have to make room on the sofa for Harvey. We have to answer the telephone when Elwood rings up and asks to speak to Harvey. Then at the party this afternoon, with Mrs. Chauvelin there. Why we didn't even know anything about Harvey until we came here. Don't you think, Doctor, it would have been a little nicer of Mother to have told us? Well, don't you?
I really don't think I can answer that question.
Well, I can. Yes, it certainly would have.
Now, Mrs. Simmons, this person you call Harvey, who exactly is he?
He's a rabbit.
Perhaps, but just who is he? Someone your mother picked up from one of these bars of whom you disapprove.
Doctor, I've been trying to tell you. Harvey is a rabbit. A big white rabbit. 6 feet high. Or was it 6 feet to 1.5? Heaven knows. I ought to know. He's been around the house long enough.
Let me get this quite clear.
Doctor, do I have to keep repeating myself? Elwood insists that his closest friend is this big white rabbit. This rabbit's name is Harvey. Him and Elwood go everywhere together. Elwood buys railway tickets and theatre tickets for Harvey. As I said to Myrtle May, if your uncle was so lonesome he had to bring something home, couldn't he have brought something human? He's got me, hasn't he? He's got Myrtle May, hasn't he? Doctor. Now, I'm going to tell you something I've never told anybody in this world before. Every once in a while, I see that big white rabbit myself now. Isn't that terrible? Oh, don't even tell that to a soul, Doctor.
Mrs. Simmons.
And what's more, he's every bit as big as Elwood says he is. Now, I haven't even told that to Myrtle May.
Mrs. Simmons, I can see you've been suffering under a great strain recently.
Yes,
A grief over your mother's death has depressed you considerably.
nobody knows how much.
Now, have you been losing sleep?
Who has been on sleep? What's going on?
Short-tempered over trifles?
You try to with it and see how your temper holds up.
Loss of appetite?
With a big rabbit guy. Well, I'll sell the house and become appointed trustee of the estate. Then Myrtle and I will be able to entertain our guests in peace. Oh, Doctor, it's too much.
We're going to help you, so I'll be right back.
Doctor, I'll just go to the taxi cab to get Elwood's things. Which door do I come in at?
Now, why didn't anyone answer the buzzer? I rang and rang. Mrs. Simmons?
Mrs. Simmons?
Wilson, sound the gong. That woman must not leave the grounds. Her condition is serious. Go on. Henry, allow no one out of the main gate. We're looking for a patient. I ought never to have left her alone, but nobody answered the buzzer.
Wilson was in South, Doctor.
What have we available, Miss Kelly?
Number 13 at the West R is ready now.
But then have her taken up there right away and I'll prescribe preliminary treatment. And now, we must get her brother on the telephone, Mr. Elwood Dowd. Would you do that for me, Kelly?
But Doctor, I didn't realise it was the woman that needed treatment. She said it was for her brother.
Well, of course she did. It's the oldest dodge in the world, used by a cunning type of psychopath. Look, apparently she knew that her brother was going to come out here and convict her, so she came out here first to spread it to him.
But
Now get a new telephone, Kelly.
But Doctor, I thought the woman was all right. So I had Wilson take Mr. Dowd up to number 24 South Wing G. He's there now.
You had Wilson take the brother?
Yes, I did. I'm so sorry, Doctor.
Oh, if you're sorry, that fixes everything. Really, Miss Kelly.
Oh, I'll do it. Done. You unlock the door to number 24 and give Mr. Dowd his clothes back. And ask him to step up to the office right away. There's been a mistake. Dr. Sanderson wants to explain.
Explain? Apologise?
Thank God they haven't put him in the hydro tub yet. She'll let him out.
Beautiful and dumb too. It's almost too good to be true.
I feel terrible, Doctor. I didn't know. Mr. Gaffney called and said Mrs. Simmons and her brother would be coming out here. Well, I thought the woman seemed normal. You don't have to be rude.
Oh, don't I? Now, stop worrying, Kelly. We'll squirm out of this some way.
Where are you going?
To find the chief. He may well take all this himself.
No, he'll be furious, I know he will, and then he'll terminate me.
Yes, Kelly, the responsibility is all mine.
Oh, no, tell him it was all my fault.
I never mentioned your name, Kelly. Except in my sleep.
Stand out.
Keep him here. I'll be right back.
What shall I say? What shall I do? He'll be furious.
Miss Kelly, he'll probably be fit to burst, but he's a man, isn't he?
Yes, sir. His name is Mr.
And you're a woman. So use your wit, use your eyes, use your influence to keep him here.
Oh, just about the most wonderful person I ever met in my life, Mr. Sanderson.
Oh, well, how about giving me a hand anyway?
What?
That woman.
Oh, did you catch her?
Oh, yeah. She sticks a whistle. She was wandering around the park humming a little tune. I jumped out behind a tree and said, "Sister, there's a man who wants to see you." Should have heard her scream. Oh, she's up there now. I wonder if you want to take her clothes off.
No, just a minute. Dr. Sanderson wants me to wait here for her brother.
We'll make it snappy, will you?
Dorothy, where is Mr. Dowd? Oh. Are you Mr. Dowd?
I would be. Let me give you my cards. If you want me, call me at that number.
Charlie's place.
It's a bar, but they'll call me. Whatever issue it is, I have plenty more.
I'm Miss Kelly. Will you please have a chair, Mr. Dowd?
Oh, there you are. Yes, thank you. I'll have two.
Dr. Sanderson is very anxious to talk to you. He'll be here in a minute. Sit down.
After you, Miss Kelly.
Don't mind me, really. I'm in and out all the time. Please sit down.
After you.
Would you like magazine to look at?
Well, I'd rather look at you if you don't mind, Miss Kelly. You are very lovely.
Oh, thank you. Some people don't seem to think so.
Some people are blind. That's a fact often brought to my attention. Now, let me introduce you to Dan. Let me give you my cards. If you want me, call me.
I am Dr. Lyman Sanderson, Dr. Chumley's assistant out here.
Good for you, Doctor. I'm happy to know that. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you.
Really? Must be something you ate. Yes, I've had that very good. Let me introduce you to a very dear friend later on we'll be back to, but
First of all, let me sit down.
after Miss Kelly.
Sit down, Kelly. Is that chair quite comfortable, Mr. Dow?
Yes, thank you, Doctor. Would you care to try it?
No.